5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Arkosaurs Evolved. Here we like to talk about the bizarre creatures found in Ark Survival Evolved and their connections to the real world. We are your hosts. I, as always, am Dr. Dino, showing my face again, this time with a new hat, because I wanted to let the devil curls out to play, I guess. To my The camera's reversed. To my right is.
My name is Gojira. I am an incoming master's student preparing to go to the University of Bristol.
And beneath me is.
A person who definitely didn't just stub their toe. Hi, I'm Dominic. I am one of the army, as we've called ourselves, of interns at the Harvard Vertebrate Paleo Division. I'm currently doing a fossil prep specifically. I will be doing collections, hopefully, in the spring, under very cool people, Christina Bird and Scott Johnson. Very much cool people.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if we're talking about recent happenings and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yes.
finished up my I just finished up my field work. Last time we recorded, I had just begun, and now I am just ending. We
Which
have
is
not recorded
why
for like 3
we
weeks.
haven't had a video. Dot kept getting distracted and not
We are so
joining us.
sorry. It got to the point where
Oopsie.
we were terrified of his well-being.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A certain someone convinced me you got shot.
Gee,
Okay. It
I
wasn't
wonder
No,
who.
no,
I
not
wonder
you.
who.
My boss. My boss did. Scott was convinced you got shot.
Really?
It was
like
my boss.
of all the crew members who would go to that conclusion.
Why? I
Scott is
said I
not the
was
one I
being
picked.
careful.
Well, yeah. Saying you're careful. One, you have been very non-clear of if you have permits.
No, I've been clear about that. Okay, but
Uh,
for the record, I guess, I'm not doing any collecting. I'm
that's
just
true.
looking. I'm
Yes.
trying to. So, I guess I haven't gone into detail about this on the channel.
I
I'm
should.
out in Wyoming right now. I was trying to rediscover a dig site from the 1960s. It was and still is on public land.
Yeah.
I have I've been trying to find two sites. Definitely found one, and there's a really good chance I found the other. I'm
Yes.
currently waiting on lab results to confirm that.
Yeah.
I
But
did not need a permit because I'm not collecting any fossils. The
yeah,
most I'm collecting is sediment samples, which is allowed.
yes, exactly. But what I mean by
Yes.
that is it's not permits to collect. Sometimes, you might hear other field stories of paleontologists. Hell, you don't need a permit. Just going on to land and some
Mm-hmm.
angry person. Um,
Yep.
there's actually a story about this. Albertosaurus isn't in the game, but we could tell the story of Albert.
Well,
This is
we,
very
we can
famous.
tell that some other time. Maybe
Yes,
not. But
Yes.
point is, I get why y'all were worried. I was safe.
you
I
didn't.
got
You
distracted.
said nothing for straight 36 hours. Silence.
I was leading the search party for you.
Yeah.
Look, when you have a huge breakthrough, you
Yes.
tend to get tunnel vision.
Yes.
The
Like
ADHD
Yes.
does not help. I'm sorry.
Oh
yes.
God,
Like
no. As
yes. We won't get into specifics, but Dino here has advanced his career 5 years
in 2 days.
overnight.
Yeah. Which is
Potentially.
not
No,
fair,
don't
and I hate
jinx
him.
it. Don't jinx it.
Which isn't fair. I hate him.
Yes.
As the person definitely getting credit from going to Harvard, he shouldn't get which which by
How
which by the way has been
I
reinforced because everyone I work with is like, yeah, you're working at Harvard. That's gonna say a lot, actually. That's gonna go
Hey,
it
look,
way
does.
I just put months into planning and fundraising this
yes.
expedition and have spent like 100 hours the last 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
in the desert
So
looking
yeah.
at bones.
So
And I'm going
yes.
out there again tomorrow.
Oh god, my internet.
because I'm tired of staying in my hotel room. It's a nice hotel room, but I'm getting cabin fever.
Hmm,
Ah, yeah. But yes, without
yeah.
further ado, we've had our longest intro.
Mhm.
Um, but we are
Speaking of the
reviewing.
desert,
Oh yeah, that. We're reviewing
Yeah.
a creature that none of us have really a connection to, but I adore because it's from
Yes.
hell.
It is very cool.
It is from hell. And if you know what I'm referring to as hell, is Pleistocene Australia. If we'd like
Yep.
to show the literal demon.
The
yes, a
yes.
legion of demons with a dead body over to the side.
Exactly. That's what they feast upon. But yes, this is
Yes.
Procoptodon. You may know it as the short-faced kangaroo. It is actually part of a genus of short-faced kangaroos, which I did not know that. Um, there's a bunch of group of these. These are kangaroos are actually very diverse. Um, and these are kangaroos that became quite big and were not grazers like most kangaroos. They're actually browsers, which is why they have such short faces. They're and let me. What does your name mean? I should know this.
Something tooth.
Well, yeah. Um, 2 seconds,
The
everyone. This is definitely not me looking
Yep.
it up.
forward cutting tooth.
There it
Ah,
is.
okay,
I
that
guess
makes sense.
but its skull is awful, which I will send a picture in
Or
our
forward
chat.
hill tooth.
Yes. Unlike with Nidaria, this one will have lots of images because this is actually a cool animal that we know
Oh
a lot
yes,
about and can
Well,
show a lot about. It's
and a very
great.
hey,
well
that
studied animal too.
Nigeria is
Yes.
cool. I will continue defending it.
You have been
Nigeria isn't
outvoted,
a
sir.
real thing.
Okay, okay. I don't want to. I don't want to have to
Yeah,
bring back the dolphin noises. So
I,
we know what
I didn't
Procoptodon
swear.
means.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't want to bring that
Anyway,
back.
Um.
Um, what are the species? There are a few, right?
There's three confirmed. Um. One. And there's eight possibly. Um. There is the confirmed ones are Galaya, which is big. Pusio and Rafa. I'm assuming those sound like just one word. I can double check though, just in case. They're all named by Owen in the same year, by the way. Richard Owen.
uh,
Richard Owen.
Goliath, Goliath was 1873. Pusio and Rafa were 1874.
That can't be right. Pusio cannot mean young lad. That cannot be a name. It cannot mean young lad. That's amazing. Wait, what? Okay,
You know,
so
sometimes Richard Owen had some good names.
And sometimes.
Sometimes.
and the other one means let me if there's a Greek meaning. If it doesn't have a Greek mean, it means primitive to mend or to fix, to cure. So I don't
Huh.
know why it's named like these. There's no real reason, and I can't find Owen's paper. I'll see if I can. No, I can't. I don't have access to Owen's paper, sadly. But yes, it appears.
Mm,
It's either the big young, I'm assuming young and mend. I don't know why.
okay. Maybe
Um,
that one with a lot of restoration.
maybe, yeah. There's a lot of stuff about these because Australia Pleistocene fossils aren't actually that common unless you know where to look. Australia's
Hmm.
Pleistocene is very famous for things called death traps, which I will talk about a lot. Most of these are actually been discovered. Basically, I forgot how it's formed, but there's basically
Like, yeah. Like La Brea was a big tar pit.
yeah, but no, these were literally like holes that are covered in like plant or bush that a creature is walking just fall, and you get like
Oh,
piles upon
Oh,
piles of
it,
bones.
are they
yeah.
like sinkholes? Maybe like
Yeah.
is it a karst landscape?
No, it's there's cave systems under it.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's what. Sorry.
Oh,
So a karst landscape, and I'll show up like the Wikipedia definition here.
mhm.
A karst landscape is an area usually that has a lot of limestone, and acid and rainwater breaks down the
I think
calcite that holds it together really quickly. so it tends to form a lot of caves and sinkholes.
I believe that's correct, but I can
Actually,
double check.
like the area I'm from, eastern Iowa, is a huge karst landscape. There's always new caves and sinkholes or showing up. It's actually a concern.
That is bad.
Yeah, we'll double check the geology later, but
Yes.
that's
But
how I'm guessing they appear.
that's a lot. Basically, so place you'll find basically. Actually, if you watch this pretty factually recently, a documentary about the Australian megafauna has come out. They
Hmm.
sort of the first things they talk about is they you basically just go into a hole and there's just bones everywhere, and it's not like fossils. Some of them are just proper bones. They've just been there, from what I
Because it's
understand.
recent, right?
Yeah,
Very.
ten
Um,
thousand BC. These are very young animals.
so one last thing I will say, like part of why I'm guessing these, if they are sinkholes, what I'm guessing why they're attracting so many animals, especially in a hot desert, plants love to grow in the shadows where it's cooler and where there's more moisture
Yeah.
because they when plants breathe they do something called transpiration, which basically they give off water molecules in order to, I think, create sugars. I'll have to double check that. So if the air around them is more humid, they lose less water every time they respirate.
Also, sometimes the roots will like degrade the rock as well.
Yes, and like the roots can dip into the cave and pick up moisture from the air. Those plants bring in plant eaters. They fall in. The dead carcasses bring in meat eaters.
They fall
They
in
fall in.
death traps.
Like we have similar things in Pleistocene North America and Europe, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we have
And the La
tar
Brea
pits.
tar pit.
The tar pits are a big
No,
one.
I mean specifically the caves.
I don't know. Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there's a
ground
famous
sloth.
one in Wyoming actually. Now that I just remembered that.
Yeah, no,
Didn't
it's
have
really
yeah.
cool.
Didn't
Um,
have a lot of bison bones.
yes, I know. We also get ground
Probably
sloths in them as well because sometimes
Yeah.
ground sloths are the cause of the caves.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But
Ground
I'm
sloths
sure
are
we'll get
just
into burrowing and stuff with the real giant ground sloth in the game.
Well,
yeah.
some
And
of that
not
one didn't burrow, but some did. That one definitely
Mhm.
didn't.
and not the
Okay.
excuse of a ground sloth.
That is the gotcha. Sorry
Well,
if I mess with my camera, everyone. It does not appear that my face detects light, which is annoying and dumb, but that's fine. Whatever. Um, my light also appears to be losing brightness. My the top of my ceiling fan. So
oh
yeah.
dear.
But anyways, yes. This is one of the many Australian megafauna. Um, they're if you're you should probably explain what the term megafauna means because it's the first time we properly use it. Megafauna is the actual term is any animal above 1,000 pounds, 1,000 kilograms, I
Mhm.
believe. From what I understand, I can
Well,
double
well,
check.
wait, kilograms
Mm,
or
Like
pounds? Because
like
that's a
like
big
it
difference.
it
Oh,
varies
it is.
widely. Like there's some thresholds that say like approximately 45 kilograms, while others as low as
Uh,
10 and others as high as 1,000. So
yes,
it really depends on who you ask.
it
But
appears
yeah,
that the most common dish is anything over 100 kilograms is the most common definition from what I quick research.
yeah.
Huh.
So basically, in layman's terms, megafauna, big animals.
Yeah,
I mean that's literally what it means.
yeah,
Yeah,
it means big
yeah.
animal. Um,
And
but you go first.
in in the Pleistocene, megafauna were very diverse. They were
Hmm.
like where you would find ecosystems in Africa, you would find very similar ones in North America, Asia, Europe, and
Um,
Australia.
In South
yes,
America.
actually, on that note, Africa is the only continent that has most of its megafaunal guild.
Yes,
It's usually called a
Yeah,
guild intact.
yeah,
yes, every
And there are
single
some hypotheses for
mhm,
that, including they evolved alongside humans, so they were less
yeah,
impacted by
yeah.
humans.
So
yes,
they were
Whereas
used to.
even
everything
though
else,
well, the South American megafaunal guild, I think probably got destroyed because of the continental interchange, which we can talk about when we get to Smilodon.
Well, which is kind of
Uh,
debatable.
that's my opinion
It,
because besides ground sloths, nothing else from South America lives for very long. The
I mean
I
terror
mean,
the
are
giant the giant armadillos, they survive for a bit, don't they?
yeah,
the gi
Leptodonts.
Eugliptodonts, yeah, but from what it seems, humans probably made an impact. I'm more subscribed to the idea of the loss of the mammoth steppe due to pine forests was probably the bigger reason.
Mm,
Um, was why we lost all of the megafauna of mammoth steppe is. Again, we'll get more into that when we speak about mammoth, but it
yep.
is
Mhm.
probably the biggest singular biome ecosystem ever to exist. It basically stretched from all the way here in the East Coast to all the way in Europe straight through.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very cool.
Yes.
There's some animals that went west that you might not expect, like the poster children for Western movement during this interchange are horses and camels.
Hmm.
Yes, horses and camels are a North American thing, despite us having none
Mhm.
anymore. Well, we have some horses, but we don't have camels.
Are canids as well, or am I misremembering that?
Canids are, I know ursine are. I don't. Canids might be as well. I know felines
I
aren't.
think
That's the main one.
I think
Canids.
Okay.
Borophages are Asian. I think
Sorry, what aphages?
That's something to check. I know.
Borophages.
I don't study
Urophages?
mammals. What is it?
Yeah. Let me.
Urine
I don't study
eaters?
mammals.
No, no. Like
Bur
the
Burphage.
bone eating dogs.
Yo,
Duroph
yes.
Durophage? Durophages.
Durophages.
Bur
Sorry, Durophages.
Burphages. Yeah.
Okay,
Dur-
yeah, sorry. Keep
Burphages.
saying durophagy.
oh
Yes.
no.
That means
But
something
yes.
completely different.
Nope.
Yes. A lot of the creatures that you may think of as Asian, probably besides I think proboscideans, that is the technical term for elephants. Most of the creatures started in America, the Americas, I should say.
Yeah.
And I will send Doc a picture. There's a saddening image. There's three images of megafaunal loss where
Yes.
they're
Mhm.
awful images where all of the megafauna that's been extinct have been grayed out and we only have the current
Hmm.
ones. It's very saddening.
Yeah. We live in a very megafauna deprived era right now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So, aside from
Yeah.
Africa, there's also the Indogenetic Plain, which is basically the stretch of like open plains and forests that is like right under the Himalayas that still has somewhat of an intact megafauna guild, albeit it
Hmm.
is a little more fragmented. A lot of people like will be shocked that like there can be so many types of carnivores and so many types of herbivores like around 10,000 years ago without the possibility of competing each other to extinction, out competing to extinction, but because we live in a very megafauna deprived world thanks to anthropogenic basically everything,
Yeah.
we we're just not very used to it.
So, speaking of Australian megafauna, we have a few other examples of them in the game. So, of course,
Mhm.
we have Procoptodon. We also have Megalania. Now, a couple of us really like the interpretation, and one of us doesn't. Those people might surprise you. Whenever we roll Megalania, we've already talked
Actually,
about it in private. There's
Yeah.
also Thylacaleo, which is Thylacaleo, not Thylacoileo.
that's the wrong.
It's
Oh God!
not.
Ah! Ow!
Oh.
That pronunciation
Oh.
hurt me. Ow!
Oh.
God!
Oh.
I've heard it a
Oh,
lot. I've heard it a lot, and
that
it
that
hurts me
hurt
too.
me on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
Ow!
Oof.
Well,
But yes,
at any rate, we have those in the game, and they are pretty neat. They're both climbers. Interestingly enough, I think it's kind of neat that both of them are jig big climbing
Jigsaw.
predators.
yes, which is
Um,
might be true. One's a lizard, so lizards do
yeah,
the climby
Yeah.
thing.
but there is
Um,
one other icon of the Australian megafauna that we are sadly missing, and I
yes.
think could have been in Scorched Earth.
Oh god,
replacing
yes.
the Morellatops.
It
Oh
could have
god, yes.
been.
God, yes.
Which, granted, I will say I like the Morellatops, but I think the other one may have fit a bit better. Or you could just have both and have them have different
I would
special moves.
say fit it
Yeah.
better. I actually, I believe the one we're talking about is Diprotodon, and I think
Yep.
I'm the
Mhm.
only one who knows. It was one of the creatures that almost was in the creature vote when the Scorched Earth creature vote for Ascended came out, was Diprotodon,
Ah,
because yes, Diprotodon, by the way, if you don't know, is I forgot if it's elephant or rhino-sized. It is
It's about rhinos.
rhino sized.
it's like a 4-ton wombat. It's
More like two,
It's.
3 tons.
let me double
I think
check.
there are some estimates that get up to 4 tons. Like there are some big
Yeah,
individuals.
yes, I'm 4-ton. Yes, it seems on probably the big ones were 3 tons. But they could they I could easily see because again, gigantism, blah blah blah. Some could
Mhm.
some big males because we know their sexual dimorphism at the protodon actually, which is really
Yep.
cool.
Hmm.
Could probably got to 4 tons.
Do we know of it in Procoptodon?
I don't know, but probably because it's a marsupial and we those bones change quite a bit. And mammals, it's tend to be pretty
Mhm.
easy to figure out, actually.
Yeah. So
I don't know off the top of
Hmm.
my head.
Yeah,
we're
I'm trying
spending
to find information on it.
yeah
Oh, I'm
quite a lot of
seeing.
talk on Protodon in this Procoptodon video.
Well, I was getting back to Procoptodon.
Mm,
Yes.
fair enough.
Oh,
Um. Okay.
oh,
Looks
that's
like
too big.
there is sexual dimorphism.
Well, of course, it's the pouch, but
Yeah, okay, it seems like the degree of sexual dimorphism was different between species and throughout time, but Procoptodon was definitely sexually dimorphic, which is kind of expected because one, it's a mammal, and two, it's a kangaroo. And modern
marsupials.
kangaroos are pretty sexually dimorphic.
Yeah, marsupials. Oh yeah, we haven't said this. This is a marsupial. Phylogeny time. I can do
True,
it.
it's true.
It's actually pretty easy because it's a kangaroo. Um, so this is a mammal. Mammalia, just like you and me. This is we still believe they're early diverging mammals. I believe that's agreed upon.
Not as early as monotremes, but yes.
Yes,
Yes.
this is a kind of early diverging mammal. This is something called a marsupial. They appear to be at least started out probably in the Mesozoic. They are
Yeah.
Yes.
Gondwanan
Yep.
in
Yep.
nature.
Let's see. I
Or
think.
possible like it.
Let me double check the molecular
Yep.
clock.
Like it's
Yes,
Paleocene with some possible late Cretaceous
I
reference.
think that's right. I think you guys might be right about that. But they appear to be Gondwanan in
Uh,
nature. Only
Jurassic,
Gondwanan.
160 million years ago.
Oh God, yeah, no, that's Jurassic. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
okay then. So yeah, they started the Mesozoic. They are Gondwanan in nature. We said that multiple times. That means they are from South America, Antarctica, Australia, India, and probably
and
Africa.
Africa, right?
Yes, I don't know if we have any from Africa because of
I don't think we do.
I. Th-
we may
Let
have
me
some
double
from the
check. I think there are
Mesozoic.
some.
We definitely don't have any from the Cenozoic
Hmm.
because they were.
There are marsupials known in Africa, but it
Oh, there are.
doesn't look like there are any surviving ones.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's I assume. Um, but they are known by one main thing. I don't know. I like bone wise, they probably have some very differences from
Yep.
placental mammals like us. One, they tend to have a smaller brain capacity. Tend.
Hmm.
But the main thing though is how they have children, or not have children. How the mom rears their young.
Yeah.
Basically, get
Yes.
pregnant, but I don't each one's different, but about when the embryo fully forms into an embryo, it is then given birth and then climbs into as can you preach of the pouch actually.
Yes, I
Yes.
can.
It climbs
As
in
this one poops.
yeah, climbs into the mother's pouch, which is basically a skin fold that has all of the nipples in it to give milk, and it lives there until it basically is able to live out on its own. It'll stay with its mom for a while, and yeah,
Oh yeah, I
um,
forgot you can ride in the pouch.
you can. It's adorable.
Yay.
I love it so much. Um, yes,
Yay.
it's amazing.
I don't know how to change the camera.
I don't think there is a way, actually.
I don't think it is.
I think there is, but whatever. I am in the pouch now. I am
Yes.
Hey,
safe.
mom.
Which, mind you, is a monumental task. I don't remember, but I was watching. I remember a young documentary where they said it's like if you were born and immediately had to climb a skyscraper to get to where you need to go.
Pretty
Yeah, like
much.
babies are born. It
Like
depends on the
an
species.
inch,
Some
maybe a
are
few
born
centimeters.
less than 2 centimeters long.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
tiny. Now you did mention that is the major difference between marsupials and mammal and what are
placentals.
so
Placental mammals.
placentals. Yes, the technical terms are metatherians and eutherians.
Yes,
Metatherians are
Mhm.
marsupials. Eutherians are everything else besides like platypus and
monotremes.
echidna.
Yeah. And yeah, the
Um,
monotremes.
anyway, the metatherians are distinguished by a few things. First, they have a set of bones that other mammals just don't have. They're called the epipubic bones,
Oh
so they're
yeah,
an extra bone in the hip. And I think it's hypothesized that eutherians lost them to make it easier for the belly to expand during pregnancy because they hold on to the babies for longer.
they don't have a pouch, so they
They
don't
don't have a
do that.
pouch. Yeah. There are also differences in the teeth. I believe the teeth grow differently in metatherians and eutherians, and they tend to have different dental patterns. So, like the ordering of the teeth is different. I think yeah, there's differences in the inner ear and how the jaw attaches to the skull is slightly different as well. There's a lot of small changes. Another big one is that they tend to have a lower body temperature. Metatherians do,
Oh,
Hmm.
which
yes,
is
I actually
why opossums are immune to rabies.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
Well,
Sweet.
I don't know if they're immune. I just don't think they can.
No, they are immune. Their body temp is too
Uh,
low to incubate the disease.
I thought it was told that they don't. They are dormant carriers, but they can't be affected by it. I might be
I
wrong
will
about that.
double
Hmm.
check and I'll say which one
Let me
of
double
us is right
check.
up here, but
Mhm.
I believe they are just straight up immune.
They might be. I've also heard that too, but I thought that was a
They're
myth.
yeah, they are very resistant.
Yes,
Okay, I
which makes
stand
sense.
corrected.
Makes sense.
Like
Effectively
like
immune.
they
Yeah,
can carry it, but it doesn't affect it that
yeah,
much.
yeah. I thought that they could carry it, but they don't. They don't affect it, which is why.
And
They
and
also.
actually, well, sorry, that's related. One of the only known ways, maybe the only known way to cure rabies, and it still has a very low success rate, is something called the Milwaukee Protocol.
What is what?
So in
What?
humans, there is a way to cure rabies with like an 8% success rate, but you might as well try it because you have a 99.9 death rate chance
That's
Yeah.
unless it
true.
gets
Once
treated.
once symptoms
Anyway,
like
they,
start.
if I recall correctly, they try to dump your body temperature down to
Oh,
kill the rabies, and
Oh
yes.
they have to balance it so it doesn't give you
I didn't know
deadly
that a
hypothermia.
name.
God.
I
Yeah,
have
the
heard of the
Milwaukee
usually.
Protocol.
I don't know the name. I know if you, some people troll true for radios, you put yourself in an ice bath. I've or that's how you slow it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if it slows it. Like honest, I will say again. I usually say this before the episodes. I am not a doctor.
None of us are.
Uh, my
No, not yet at
my
least.
name is a parody of a creationist preacher. Um, that's why I'm called Doctor Dino. I
Yeah.
may be a PhD of paleontology someday. For now, I am not. I just
No.
know a bit of medical stuff because my mom worked in the medical field.
Yes.
So anyways,
Yeah, where were
like
we?
Oh yeah, we were talking
rabies.
about rabies. Yeah.
Phylogeny.
Yeah, oh yeah, phylogeny.
Phylogeny, yeah.
Yes, but back to marsupials. This is a marsupial. This is also part of the group called Diprotodontinae, which
Hmm.
are um which are basically most of the famous marsupials. It is your wallabies, it is your wombats, it is your koalas, it is your possums. Not opossum, possum. There's a difference.
Mhm.
It's your kangaroos. Most of them are herbivores. Um,
Most.
well,
With a couple big exceptions, one of which is
as in,
in game, and we will get
We
to
will get to
eventually
those.
because it is
We'll
yeah,
get to those
awesome.
later.
um, they appear to be um only Australian. There's none anywhere else. Even like New Guinea doesn't have any. Oh god, I got really dark. What the? I became purple. Um,
Thylacolsmilus is a marsupial, isn't it?
yes,
Yes.
What group does it belong to?
And
Thylacolsmilus. 2 seconds. Thylacolsmilus. Thylacolsmilus, by the way, is if you don't know what it is, we send a picture. It is part of something called the Sparassodonts, which
yep,
Okay.
are specifically carnivorous South American marsupials.
that are trying to
Okay.
pose as
Got
saber
it.
tooth cats.
Not all of them, but some of them do that. But not all of them.
Thylacolsmilus does.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it is one of the most bonkers carnivores,
It
just
probably
carnivores
had a
flat out I've ever
giantly
seen.
long tongue, which is awful.
It's probably an
Yes.
organ specialist.
Which is
It
weird.
And it
well,
may have been a scavenger.
we got
Yeah,
to find some way to talk about it because it is
Thylacoleo.
so
We can talk
weird.
about Thylacoleo. That's its name.
Yeah, I used to get him confused all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yes, it's part of the Diprotodontidae. Then it is part of macropods, Macropodinae.
big feet.
Macropods. Yeah, these are your kangaroos. Your tree kangaroos, wallabies, base kangaroos, wallaroos, patamelons, and quokkas. If you know what a quokka is, if you've seen a, I don't know what a patamelon
It's
is.
they're so cute.
They're so happy.
They're adorable.
Yeah, and they
Um,
love to sacrifice their children, but they're so cute.
They do. And then it's part of the short-faced kangaroo group, which I'm not gonna pronounce because it starts with STHENU.
Stenurinae.
That what the then
Let's see.
It
What is
is.
it
It
is
destroys the tongue.
it's Slenurinae.
Stenurinae.
Yes, but they are the short-faced
let's
kangaroos.
let's see. What language is that word?
Stenurinae.
Greek.
It's
Stenurus,
Greek.
Greek. Strong-tailed.
It's literally just a Greek word for strong-tailed. Huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Stenura.
Oh, that's
Stenurine.
no, that sounds Greek actually. I've been if you didn't
It
know,
it sounds German, but it's
n-
not.
no, because
Yeah.
it sounds like a Stethano and like Medusa and stuff. It's like or Charybdis, I should
Yeah.
say. It's
Charybdis. Yeah, maybe.
yeah. It like it's his Stethano is STH too. Oh,
Hmm.
wait, it's probably Stenurinae. Yeah, Sten. Like Sven.
Well, at any rate, it has a long, strong tail.
Yes. Yeah, these are your short-faced kangaroos. Again, short face. Oh, I don't know if oh, wait, we might explain it, but they probably had short faces because they were eating at the top, while most other macropods are grazers.
Yeah,
Um,
browsers.
yeah, these are
Browsers.
browsers, yes. But yeah.
Um,
So with that, there's a lot more to talk about with this creature.
there is maybe first. Um, so with the strong tails, kangaroos are really interesting, in that they are. I would kind of call them tripeds.
Yeah, they are probably.
Yeah.
Because, yes, modern kangaroos do hop around on two legs, and these guys walk on two legs, which we'll get to. But, like, when they're standing still, they lean on their tail. They lean on their tail to kick and to
Yeah.
do other stuff. Like, it's what they do. Like,
Well, even
it's basically
Yeah.
a third leg.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
they use it
Insert joke
to.
here.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I
Yeah.
think in modern kangaroos, their other third leg is actually backwards, but that's
Yeah,
God damn it.
that's a
You could
marsupial
say,
thing,
is
I
there a
think.
fourth leg
I'm almost
then?
positive that's a marsupial thing. Um, but yes, again, they're tripods, but I believe they're also the only extant non-avian biped that isn't an ape. I'm almost positive, or macropods.
Uh,
um pangolins.
Eh,
I mean,
I
penguins are
Pangolins
like,
walk around bipedally. They're
I can.
facultative
I mean,
bipeds.
Oh yeah, you're
facultative,
true. You're
but they're
right.
not obligate bipeds.
Yeah, these things are obligate bipeds.
I
Yeah.
think
For
maybe
the
anteaters and tamanduas too.
Mm,
so for those who do not know, there's a difference between facultative and obligate. For
I
example,
should
Yes.
in
go actually.
a
Yeah.
facultative biped means that while it usually walks on all fours, it is perfectly capable of walking on two. Whereas an obligate biped means that it's specifically designed for bipedal locomotion and like it cannot naturally walk on four legs. Like it can, but it's not its like
Um,
forte.
maybe to use dinosaurs as an example,
Yeah.
Yes.
Iguanodon is a facultative biped. It's
Yeah.
normally on four legs, but it can run on two. T
Whereas,
Rex
yep.
is an obligate biped because it cannot walk on four legs ever. And there are obligate quadrupeds too, like Triceratops. Like there's a whole spectrum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spectrum.
All theropods are obligate bipeds.
All
Even
of them
As far
are.
as we
all
know.
of them.
As
Even
All.
far as we know.
even
No, no, no.
no
Okay.
no no no.
I'm no. We started Spinosaurus, but
We'll get to that with
yeah.
Spinosaurus.
Okay. But another way of saying it is that humans, we're obligate bipeds. Technically, you can walk on your hands, but
But it's
I
very
would say we are facultative quadrupeds.
that's
Because we
probably
you
better.
can you can walk
Kangaroos are also
uh, you
actually.
can walk and run efficiently on four
I
legs.
wouldn't say efficiently. I would
effectively
say
no.
possible.
You would be surprised. There are people out there that can sprint on all
Yeah,
fours, and it
no,
is
that's
scary.
true.
They're faster than they are on two legs.
No, yeah, I actually used to be able to do that. No, you're right. Kangaroos
Yeah,
I
are
can still
also
do that.
facultative quadrupeds as well.
Yeah, because
but they
Speaking
are
like
of
very bad
yeah,
quadrupeds, at
if
least
you
modern
ever
ones.
yeah,
if you ever did
some
like
of
a
these.
warm up at PE class in school, one of the exercises is bear crawl,
Yeah.
and I always won first place in bear crawl. That's like the one exercise I
Speaking
like.
It's
of
fun.
hominids, there's
Yes,
another thing with hominids.
usually when we think of kangaroos, we think of them as basically hopping. Like their legs are specifically designed for hopping instead of walking. Sthenurines, the big short-faced kangaroos, on the other hand, might not have done so. There were actually two papers on this. There was one in 2014 by Janice et al., and there was another, let's see, gonna pull in
2020.
2020 by Janice et al., and one of the co-authors was actually Dr. James Napoli of Skeleton Crew fame. And I know we say we don't want to like we want to be our own thing, but we
It's
feel it's worth mentioning
it's his
because
paper.
He
Yeah.
helped with
yeah,
the research.
yeah,
It's
Dr.
his
Napoli is he's a
It's like
fantastic
when we
paleontologist.
eventually get to Mosasaurus
Yeah,
or Bacillus.
yeah,
Well, Bacillus, he didn't pose paper,
or
but Bacillus first.
Basilosaurus
Yeah.
but yeah,
or
Dr. Nap,
Plesiosaurus.
but
I'm
yeah,
working on that.
Dr. Napoli is a fantastic paleontologist, unironically, and you should see his work. It is
Oh, it's insane.
immaculate. Now, as I was saying, in both papers, they suggested that basically the morphology of the legs basically suggests that instead of hopping like other kangaroos, they were probably using them for bipedal strides. And the closest analog both papers actually came up with was hominids, like humans.
Which is
So
awful.
imagine having
Mhm.
a 250-kilogram kangaroo walking up to you like a goddamn like
9 feet tall.
bodybuilder. Like,
Nine
Awful.
feet tall.
Awful creature. Yeah,
yes.
no. And You think I would be exaggerating? No, the papers literally say it, and we've also actually heard, as you said, James Apley talked about it. They probably walked almost exactly like you and I, which is awful. There's actually a
Yes.
picture
Mhm.
on Wikipedia how they walked, which shows that they were probably also their legs did not do the things that kangaroos normally do. They walked on their toes, probably.
Yes.
Look at the
Sorry,
picture I just sent in
I just
chat.
had a I just had a horrifying realization. There is an
What?
animation that probably captures exactly what they looked like while
Oh,
walking.
which
What?
is
Let me get it. Um,
What?
I sent the
Please send it.
I sent the picture, by the way, in our
I'm looking it up
chat
right now.
of how it's proposed they stood, which is awful, and I hate
It
it.
is. I bet it's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, no, it's
It
not great.
is. It is.
So yeah, like just when you thought Australia couldn't get any more terrifying.
Hell.
Okay, so I'm just gonna share this here to make it easier for me editing later.
Yeah.
So the credit for this is gonna be shown.
Oh,
This is
yes.
Squeaky El Lobo. So
I
this
know.
is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. You know, Skyrim's older brother. And
Yeah, no.
the
Yeah,
It
that
is
oh, yeah, that's
horrifying.
exactly what it is.
yeah,
That's awful.
that's
Yes,
exact it,
that is
yeah.
fucking
Oh
horrific.
god. Oh.
God,
They got it what
make it
10,
stop.
12 years
Make it
early cuz
stop.
this came out in like 2000.
Like,
2020
okay, like,
is when the paper came out.
like, stop. Like, if we saw this in modern day, we would just surrender.
Hell.
Like, no, no
Yeah.
wars. Like, as if we
Hell.
thought emus didn't kick our asses bad enough, we did not want to take our chances with this monster.
Uh,
It
oh,
is it is
speaking of
bad, but just
monsters.
the way you were describing that just reminded it activated a core memory in my
Yeah,
head.
no, it's
God.
awful. Speaking, by the way, of of monsters, will we? Because I probably want to go more in depth into specifics when we get to Megalania and Thalcaleo, because they have more interesting stuff.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go over a basics of other Australian megafauna. There is one that is living that's like technically, while the term megafauna, yes, is like 100 kilograms, it's usually described as like proper giants. Like like
Mhm.
technically bison is megafauna, but
Yes.
when a lot of people talk about megafaunal bison, they talk about things like bison latifrons, which
Oh, I
is
have no experience with that.
uh
Oh, like the Museum of Geology in my undergrad school actually has like a little transition piece on the different types of bison and like their different horns and different skull shapes and stuff like that, and how they
Mhm.
kind of migrated to North America and how their distributions varied.
yeah,
It's really
That's
cool.
neat.
no bisons are.
Uh, tiny plug for my personal channel here. I'm currently working on a collaboration with another YouTuber to bust a young Earth creationist claim about a Triceratops horn
Oh, is it?
that is almost certainly a bison horn.
I
Oh God,
how
I
could
think
you
I know.
confuse those? What?
Okay, now I this is not a defense, but they have been confused in the past. They are surprisingly similar if you don't know what you're looking at.
I guess.
Still, it's like a
Um,
3 foot spear versus what, a one
Well,
foot one at
no,
most.
also a 3 foot
Latifrons is
spear. It's
that big.
bison latifrons.
Latifrons, longhorn
No,
bison are that big. Yeah,
Yeah,
Latifrons is
yeah,
it's a
big.
whole thing. We're
fair.
still working on the script and the
Yes.
video, but within the next month or so, the creator Dapper Dino will probably have the video up on his channel, and I'll
Yes.
probably be uploading my own copy.
Oh,
All right.
So if you want to
speaking of.
see me talking about science, because I went to where this thing was found,
Oh, of
and
course you did.
I found the actual dig site because
He
I'm
is,
great at that
yes,
somehow.
he is walking his talk at being the doctor already.
Yes, but
I'm
yeah,
trying.
the currently only surviving megafauna again, technically red kangaroo and all that are, is the saltwater
Mhm.
crocodile, which is way bigger than you
Ah,
expect. It's not okay. Um,
Yes.
it is not.
no. But other ones are, of course, we talked about Diprotodon. There is also Diprotodon has more species. Also, by the way, found it. There is a specimen of Diprotodon that was probably 7,700 pounds. There's a confirmed specimen.
Jesus
That's
Jeez.
not okay.
Christ.
Um, Also, 7 foot at the shoulder is bigger than a rhino.
God damn.
7 foot. That's
That
that's bison
that's the
sized.
size of a small Asian elephant.
That's a bison. That's
Yeah,
small Asian elephant. That's
that's
not
like that
okay.
is Brontothir size.
No, that's bigger than bison.
Oh, it is.
That's Brontothir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like the
there's
largest bison get up to about 4,000 pounds.
yeah. So there's that. There's also a few more reptiles. There is Wanambi, which is a very very old type of snake. It is
Mhm.
20 feet long. But it is it's what is it called? It's a Madsoid. Madsoids are
Mhm.
very, very basal. Basal is the right word.
Yeah.
Snakes. That didn't. I don't believe they even had the snake adaptations for properly unhinging their jaw, or not fully developed like
Really?
modern snakes. From what I remember about
Hmm.
minor research into them, they don't have the fully cranial kinesis. That's the word I'm looking for. That modern snakes do.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Very
Huh.
big Madsoid. There's Quincana, which is a terrestrial crocodile, a proper crocodile. It's about 10 feet long. Um, Not
Mhm.
okay as well. There is um there is Melonia, which is an 8 foot long turtle with a giant club tail.
Yeah.
Mm.
Again, and there's another giant snake called Liasis, which appears to be an actual proper giant a 30-foot long giant yeah, 30-foot long giant python. Again, Megalania as well, really big. Megalania weighs 2 tons.
Yep. 20 feet
So
long and 2 tons.
so
2
the problem
tons?
with Megalania is all the remains we have are really fragmentary.
Yes.
It's weird, especially since it's so young. It
Yeah.
kind of makes me think it probably inhabited some environments that were really not conducive to preservation.
There's a theory about that because Thalcaleo is really common and Quincana and Megalania aren't. It's yeah, there's a theory about that of some
Hmm.
niche partitioning.
Niche partitioning.
Thank you. I
Yes.
am
Yep.
correct. There are some birds. There is Dromiornis or Sturgeon's thunderbird. It is
Hmm.
a giant duck, from what I remember. Yeah, no, it's a giant
In
Yes,
duck.
it
general.
is. It's a giant waterfowl.
Giant duck.
Yep.
Um. Oh yeah, I forgot. Its cousin Dromiornis plani, or it's called also used to be known as Ornis, also known as the Demon Duck of Doom. That is its actual title.
It's a
Pretty
great
accurate.
name.
8 foot tall, 500 pounds, probably omnivorous. There is also Dianto Diantoestis, which is the second largest proper bird of prey, behind only
Hmm.
the Hass eagle. Um, it's a giant predatory vulture, like a
Hmm.
giant predatory vulture. Um,
Um. Ooh, and sorry, you just reminded me of the Haas eagle.
yeah,
Like,
Oh yeah.
it's
Yes.
so cool. And weirdly enough,
humans.
It
we'll
is
we'll get to it
terrible.
eventually. The Argentavis in game is not a great Argentavis, but it would be a
Yeah.
passable Haas eagle.
It's a pretty good Hass eagle. Size wise,
It's
it's
Yeah,
pretty good too.
yeah,
Um,
pretty
yeah.
good. Seagull.
the other monotremes as well. There is a I know there's a giant platypus that's I believe a few feet long. There's a sheep-sized
Mhm.
echidna, which is not okay. Um, There is a few other things. There's more giant kangaroos. There's giant wallabies. Um, Again, there's more things diprotodontids. One of which is confirmed. One of which probably had a trunk, which is again not okay.
Not okay.
Its name
Sorry, a diprotodontid with a trunk.
had a short that may have had a short trunk. Its name is Zygomaturus. It appears to have lived in wetlands using two forked like incisors to shovel up reeds. It might have had a trunk, a short
Huh.
like tapir trunk, yeah.
Oh god.
Um there is a giant koala of some description, and there is
Mhm.
one more giant probable koala, which I will mention very slightly, the Kaleo. Um, uh, Very cool. These thing Australia, again, as I've described it as hell, but it was. And most of the things I named probably met humans, which is the
Almost all of them. Yeah.
I think the vulture is one of the only ones that might have not. I can double check that though right now.
Um. Oh,
Oh,
don't we have human remains that were probably killed by Haas Siegel?
yes, we do. Well, I'm almost
Yes.
confirmed. Yeah,
Like with the talons through the eye,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
Like,
an
oh
eagle
yeah, they
yeah.
have.
predators.
We do.
So for those who don't know, they had talons the size of tiger claws.
Massive.
They were monsters.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If you if you were an early 2000s kid, you probably know the documentary Monsters We Met
It's
or
so
Land of
cool.
Lost Monsters.
It's so
Oh,
It
cool.
has
we'll
it
get
has
into
the
those soon because
yeah.
Procoptodon's in them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Um.
So cool.
Speaking of, we'll talk about that documentary when we talk about Megalania
Dude.
because that one's Megalania is both scary as hell and really dopey looking.
But
And
yes.
that's something I will say. Something I will say really quick. Uh, the thing about how eagles like to pick up primates reminded me. Uh, Humans are not the only hominids, actually hominins, that we know were hunted by eagles. One of the first known Australopithecus, I
Oh
believe it was the
yes.
Tong child, was also the victim of an eagle.
Yes,
And
I remember
the
this.
skull of the Tong child is so well preserved, we have a cast of its brain.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's
Um.
insane, but it has those two spear daggers into its eyes.
Like
It's awful.
oh, it's like Oberyn Martell levels of horrific.
Cool. Actually, so I've just learned more things about humans being that it appears that the Bunyip stories were not based on Quinconus crocodiles or Megalania. It might have been based on Diprotodon because some Aborigines saw some Diprotodon bones and say they were bunyips, and someone mentioned and well, let me go the exact wording, and and in 18 an association was made in at least as early as 1845 with colonists writing that Aboriginal people identified Diprotodon bones as belonging to bunyips, and Thomas Warsnop concluded the fear of bunyips attacking at waterholes was remembered by the time that Diprotodon lived in marshes, which we do have confirmation of. So it might have been that the giant Diprotodon attacked humans in the water, and that instated the giant furry thing
So
attacking at water holes, which would make
so
sense.
it so so it would have been basically a giant hippo, is
Yeah,
what I'm hearing.
yes, that
Pretty
is what
much.
that is definitely what some Diprotodontids were. Yes,
Well, I'll be
So
damned. That's
horrifying.
nutty.
yeah.
Uh,
So when we're talking about media,
oh
like
yeah, it's this.
Uh, yes.
yeah, should
Well,
we
first, do we have anything else to say about like the biology, its environment, anything
I do
else
have
about the real
more
Procoptodon?
actually. I have a lot.
Okay, let's get all that out before we move on.
Yes. So, I just want to do more meeting with humans. Um,
Yes.
one
Do we have
Mhm.
evidence of humans hunting them?
Yeah, hunting. I don't know. I know we. Let me double check. We have. I'm trying to check. Let me check Procopton itself. It appears that. Just do.
There is no evidence of predation or consumption of P. gallia by humans found in the fossil record.
There's no yes, no hunting. It appears that P. gallia especially, and maybe Procoptodons in general, it appears that when it got drier, their teeth, which was more developed for browsing, wasn't very helpful when it became mostly grass. It appears that's probably why the
Mm,
Procoptodons went extinct and the short-faced kangaroos as a whole. But I, again, Australia is one of the only places where I'm almost positive human hunting was not the reason. It was probably a bunch of environmental factors. I would almost be assuredly of that because unlike Asia and America, where humans like spent a long time hunting mammoths and learning those qualities, or like humans have always been near proboscideans. Humans coming
mhm.
to, or hominids, I should say, not humans, hominids coming towards Australia. These are a bunch of creatures they've never seen before, and it's not like,
Okay.
oh,
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh, no, no, no. It's not like colonists coming to an island of defenseless turtles and eating them, because they taste good and are basically living refrigerators. It's
Hmm.
a bunch of people coming from boats or island hopping. First, going to an island of giant birds. We're like, oh, these are cool to hunt, and then getting picked off by an eagle, and then going to a place where, again, you have giant hippo-sized things, which probably did attack. Diprotodon bones have been confirmed to be multiple different Australian cryptids. We have these things, which, if modern day kangaroos are any show, these probably would have been quite very
Ooh,
dangerous.
sorry. I just put two and two together. This thing is the right size and would have moved in the right way to inspire another Australian cryptid,
Who?
the
Really?
Yowie,
Oh yeah, yeah, probably.
the Australian
Yes.
Bigfoot.
You're probably right
Yep.
about that. Actually, almost
Yeah.
definitely. Um, but also you have saltwater crocodiles, which again, water, any sort of water would have been dangerous because of saltwater crocodiles. Um,
Hmm.
Megalania and Quincana and Thylacoleo are dangerous enough predators and about the right size to view humans
Yeah.
as a
As
definite, pretty
Oh,
good
they would
source
have
of food.
definitely hunted humans.
Thylacoleo, I think, would have probably special. I would have. I might. Big prediction. Some Thylacoleos probably would have specialized in it.
Ooh,
We know we have
It
evidence
would
of
have been really good at it, probably.
yeah.
Yeah,
It would have been great at
like it's
human hunting.
like with those huge just incisors at the
those
front, it could
teeth are
probably just
nasty.
chomp through your
Yeah.
skull.
Teeth are
It would have been
nasty.
like the Australian equivalent of lepers or early saber-toothed cats.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yes,
But
Australian
that
megafauna.
that is for
Oh,
Thylacolea, though.
yes.
Yes.
But yes, let's continue on
Anyway,
to appearances and in-game stuff.
yes.
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 I think the appearances are mostly just limited to documentaries, right?
There
I don't
is
know if it's
one.
been in any
There's
movies.
one.
Oh.
Like
Oh.
there's there was a Procoptodon that appeared in Ice Age 4 of all
Oh, yeah, you
things.
mentioned this earlier.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
as one of the pirate crew voiced by Rebel Wilson. So, yeah, Fat Amy voiced a terrifying kangaroo, though in that movie, she hopped like a regular kangaroo.
Well,
Like,
at the
granted, those
time, they
movies
didn't have.
Well,
aren't
I mean
bent over
that's true.
accuracy,
That's
but
going to be true for basically every media depiction since this
yeah,
research is
fair
2020,
enough.
recent.
2021. I think
But
the
still,
only one is I actually haven't watched the most recent one. I don't know if it shows Procoptodon walking or not.
Hmm.
But yeah, Procoptodon
but yeah,
mostly shown in documentaries. Mostly has father for
For
Thalcaleo and
Megalania.
Megalania, like a
Let's see.
lot.
I know it's
um,
in Monsters Resurrected, which also probably has one of the best depictions of Diprotodon I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
if
really good.
only that documentary was better.
Its Megalania episode's really good. Like actually, really good
Yeah, it's
scientific.
uh,
Scarily,
genuinely most of its episodes, other than the Spinosaurus one, have
Uh,
aged pretty well.
yes,
like it's
All
still like
of those
very
are
much
pretty okay.
it's
yeah.
still very much like that edgy like 2000
I
stuff that was kind
Some of
of
it is.
Yes, but they're not terrible. The information is mostly accurate, other
Yes.
than the Spino.
and
which we'll get to.
and bits of the
The
acro.
Godzilla Spino.
The acro is the other iffy one. The mammalian ones are good.
Basically, in most documentaries that depict megalania, they'll depict Procoptodon. The
Mhm.
Procoptodon, Thylacoleo, Diprotodon, and Megalania tend to always go together because they're the main four things of
Mhm.
Australia. I can check if it has any other up
Which
here. I can't
which I
check
mean
that.
is, well, while you're checking that, I mean it's fair to depict them all together. Like
Oh yeah.
they live in the same places. Like they would have been together. It makes sense.
Um.
And they're also all really neat animals
Yeah,
because they're similar to modern things, but but they're also super different.
and
Like
they're
it's
super sized.
like, not to bring up something we're all passionate about, it's almost like a spec-evo project.
Yes,
Like what you would come up with in a spec-evo project. Giant browsing kangaroos, giant
giant
wombat hippos,
giant land crocodiles, like
giant predatory koalas. Like
scaled up
it's a
Komodo
science
dragon.
fiction movie.
It's hell.
It's a science
It's
fiction movie.
it's
It,
it's
again,
like it's the real life Skull Island.
these are demons.
It is
And
though. It is.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's
the
what
real
that's
life
it.
Skull Island.
Yeah, no, these are demons. This is a
Well,
giant furry man that walks at you, and then you see a
Yes,
giant venomous lizard come out and rip its throat out, or a thumbed cat jump from a tree and
double thumbed
oh
cat.
yeah, it's
yes, double
awful.
thumb. Like so,
You
yeah. Quite frankly, if
Also,
Kong's
I I think we have the tagline for this episode. The
Welcome
real
to
life
hell.
Skull Island.
We're gonna skull out. Yeah,
yeah, the real Skull Island. Like, quite frankly, if Kong Skull Island, the MonsterVerse one, had basically just kaiju version of all the
that'd be
Australian
so
megafauna,
cool.
I would have liked that Skull Island a lot better.
Skull Island's my
Like
favorite movie ever made, and I like
like
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
like
really
Kong
Kong
Skull Island's the
Skull
best
Island.
MonsterVerse film, but it's Skull Island itself is just kind of boring.
it. Will
Well,
yeah.
Skull Island was the 2006 one, right? The Peter
Uh,
No,
Jackson one.
t-
no, that's Peter
no,
Jackson.
there was one
Skull Island's
like
like
Oh, right.
2018 one.
that was 20. No, Kong Skull Island's 2017.
You're
It's the
right.
MonsterVerse one
It's the
with
I mean,
the other American Godzilla movies.
yeah.
I I think the action was excellent. Everything else was kind of okay.
Well,
I mean, like,
oh, we're gonna stun lock this by the way because I have opinions.
yes, I
Yeah,
have
we're gonna
opinions too.
stun lock it. The action scenes were good, especially the final fight with the skull crawler.
So
Yes, that
cool.
Amazing.
like okay, like we need that Kong back. Like, as cool as that axe is, that Beast Glove is dumb as hell,
I like
and
Blade Glove.
I hate Beast Glove. It is so stupid. Like, I
Sorry, just
miss Kong.
wrapping the what was it
It's a
the
Yeah, like
turbine of a
it
ship
was like a
around his
ship rudder.
arm
it, it,
and
it,
Like
it,
with
it,
punching
a
with it.
flail.
it was a ship
Yeah,
rudder.
we
Yeah,
need Kong with improvised weapons again, because without his
It,
axe, like, Kong was kind of a
improvised weapons are
bitch.
so good.
Yeah,
Like there's a
that's
reason
Kong's
why.
character.
Well, when I play a barbarian in D&D, which I like to do because I like to be the big dumb strong guy,
I'm actually
I love to pick up improvised weapons
They're fun.
because
Yes,
you're never defenseless, and if you got
yes.
20 strength, you just pick one of the enemies up and start using him as a weapon.
Well, also
Like Suko.
the other appearances, one I am a d- Stark defender of, except for Monarch the TV series. The people who are behind the MonsterVerse cannot write humans for shit, but they can write monsters pretty well.
It's a
Well,
common problem with monster
they can't
movies.
write. They couldn't write Godzilla for shit in New Empire.
I think Godzilla's written great in New Empire.
I think Godzilla sucked in New Empire.
Well, he's
Like, both
just
in design and in character.
well, design's not great, but I think the idea of him just being angry, like old
Well,
man who hates
I
everyone
mean,
until Mothra tells him no is the funniest thing ever.
quite frankly, like, his character peaked with King of the Monsters. Like,
King of the Monsters,
I miss God,
Godzilla.
I miss King of the Monster was awesome.
So cool.
Don't at me.
It's not allowed to be that cool. It's so cool. I don't.
Like,
All right,
and
well,
I'm sorry. Like, King of the
no, it's
Monsters had, like, 2014 and King of the Monsters. I miss when Godzilla had gravitas, like, in those movies. He felt like a god. In this movie, he just feels like a six and
it's
he feels like a 6-inch action figure.
It's the Pacific Rim thing, right? Like
Yeah.
Well,
Pacific Rim
I
1,
mean,
they were
it's
animated slow
No,
and they
she's
had
not.
yes,
so much
yeah,
weight.
wait, but here it's Pacific Rim Uprising, where it's
I
just
don't I
it
They're
feels like
just
CG
action
characters.
figures.
I
They're
don't know
moving
about
like martial
that
artists.
because Scar King and Kong have weight to them. Like
Uh,
no, I would say Scar King and Kong do. Godzilla doesn't, but that's because it feels weird to have Godzilla moving about like that
yeah,
fast.
it
But
it feels really dumb.
I am of the opinion that like Kong is a properly written character in New Empire and a really good, well written one. I don't
Yeah,
under
uh,
I-
like
if you
like the Kong story was decent, but
like it.
I feel like it should have been either a solo Kong movie with no Godzilla, or have it like an episode of Primal where it's like both Godzilla
Ooh.
and Kong doing the same adventure.
Well,
Like them, uh, I don't know. New
Disney
Empire, I
episode we get
just,
stun locked on Godzilla.
yeah,
We
I
have
don't like New
like
Well, I
Empire.
mean, well, because
gigantic
the Australian megafauna would fit on Skull
yeah,
Island.
but it's like
It
this isn't
would.
like the Godzilla episode. This is not Godzilla. This isn't like the Giga
Like the
episode. This isn't like
oh yeah,
the Gigantopithecus
yeah,
episode.
No, wait,
we will
wait.
stun lock a lot
I'm
on
sorry.
Giga.
I just put it together. Megalania could have evolved into like the skull crawlers.
Yeah, no,
It
that's an
could
actual
have.
theory. That's a theory that the skull crawlers are not Megalania,
Amnesiacs.
but
Giant monitor
they're
lizards.
giant monitors because they're
Yeah.
really similar.
I mean, it
They
fits.
have well they have the
I
mosasaur
mean,
double jaw thing.
yes. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's like a mosasaur enjoyer's dream come true for a land mosasaur.
So cool. Again,
I love the skull crawlers.
Skull Island. It's so
This sh-
good.
yeah, it's the best MonsterVerse film.
Oh, by
Like, here's how I
far.
rank. Here's how I rank them: Kong Skull Island. Let's see, Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, Legacy of Monsters, versus Kong, New Empire, the Skull Island series.
The Skull Island series, I don't know if they
Now,
fully canonized it yet. I
It's canon.
I
it,
refuse.
it,
It doesn't
it,
feel like the same thing.
It does
and
not, but
then
it's still
there's me
canon.
and then there's me who's only seen 2 of the movies.
That's the wrong. All right, my opinion.
Yes.
It's Skull Island, Legacy of Monsters. Because I think Legacy of Monsters actually has well-written human characters, and the
Eh,
story,
I mean,
and
for
it's
half the
very.
story, like the 50 story is good. The modern story
I
sucks.
actually like the modern story, quite a bit. But no, the 50 story is one of the coolest things ever made.
Yes,
Um,
that is actually good.
then it's King of the Monsters, then it's New Empire, then it's 24 then it's Versus. I don't like 2014. I know
Man, oh,
I know the point. My issue 2014 is see, at least the human characters in the other movies are entertaining to watch. Even if they're not well written, they're entertaining. The human character in 2014 is the most boring
oh
human
my!
ever designed.
I wouldn't like he is not like I
What's
wouldn't call
also
him
not
boring, but he
doing
is
Godzilla?
simple. Like, I mean, it has the best Godzilla design ever. 2014
Because
has, and the
I
Mutos are really good.
Mutos are good, yeah.
so
I love the Mutos.
so cold take here.
Oh,
Well, first, the dad was played by Bryan Cranston, right?
Yes,
yes, and was
He should
killing them
have
off
been the
with a
main
background.
character.
well
Yes,
He
in the
should have been the main
advertising.
character.
That was the main. The
yes,
advertising showed
yeah.
him as the main
Hmm.
It
character.
was it was
Yeah.
it was Heisenberg versus Godzilla, and
Yes,
then Bryan Cranston gets killed off in the end of the
2014.
first act,
20,
which was
yes.
a bad
Yeah.
call. It should have been like the second and third act should have been like a small Jaws cast with Joe Brody, with Bryan Cranston,
Mm.
Dr. Serizawa, and Admiral Stenz.
Yeah.
Those should have been the three main characters, and it kind of like if they really want to do the Jaws thing, have those three as like the trio for the rest of the movie.
Well,
And like they could have had because the dad was a nuclear scientist. He could have helped
Yeah,
like
he would
create
help.
a lure for the Mutos to bring them to Godzilla so he
or a
could
way to
kill them.
track
Like
it.
he would have been such a good
Still, yeah,
protagonist.
It's,
like
this
I
video is
mean,
going to be
and
really long, ladies and gentlemen. By the
Mark,
way, because
yeah,
we
I
haven't
mean,
even discussed in-game stuff, and we're
I
still going
mean,
to go on
God.
this.
we're
Anyways,
at an hour 12. Okay.
yeah.
Are there
Shall we
any
talk
more
about game
media
stuff?
appearances of this
No,
kangaroo?
I double checked, but unless you want to do Jurassic World, the game stuff, and like
Yeah,
Ludia
not really.
things. Not really.
No.
No, there's a bunch of
Well,
Ludia stuff though.
actually, how do they look? How bad are they?
No, they look perfect. It's only in Jurassic. Sorry, it's only in Jurassic Park Builder. It's not even Jurassic World the game. I don't think.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yes, because I believe I I might be wrong about that, but it looks like a. It's very hard to get this wrong. It's a giant
It
kangaroo.
okay. It is in Jurassic World the game.
It is.
It
I mean,
is.
What's the level 40
Um,
look like?
it well first, um, it gets like really spiky hair and it has zebra colors.
Nice.
It's
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Oh, it gives it a beard. Huh.
Yeah, I I don't mind
Its
that,
face is too
but it
long.
it, it
let
looks
me
like it would
let
be
me look.
too warm.
It's also its face is way too long. Why is it so
Oh
Yeah.
god. Oh god damn it. Why does it have that goddamn goatee? It
Oh,
that looks
you know why it
I
has zebra stripes?
Why is
oh
that?
It appears that the level 20 in Jurassic World the game also has Jurassic Park Builder has zebra stripes as well.
Uh,
Level
uh
okay,
20.
hot
I do I don't
hot
like the
take here. I actually like the beard. I don't
Oh,
like the
oh,
hair along the
it
back.
looks
the beard's
it
fun.
looks like
I like the
it
beard.
looks like a
Like I
nice guy
they
kangaroo.
they give it like caracal wisps on its ears. I like that too. That's
No,
cool.
it's a nice design. They but no, again, it doesn't mean anything else. I'm very sad that God, we need more fossil fighters. I want fossil fighters, Pleistocene stuff.
Yes.
God, this would
Yes.
be such a cool thing in fossil fighters.
Fossil
You
fighter.
you
So
know, it would have something for like confusion and like
Oh God, yes,
enemy like
yes.
rotation.
Like
yes,
I mean like seeing a giant kangaroo walking like a human would definitely cause confusion.
Ooh,
yes.
okay, hear me out. Long range confusion support.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes.
And like
Like
it could have an ability where it like pulls random stuff out of its pouch and like
Ah!
gives a random buff.
Now, what type? Thinking air, air or
Um
neutral.
I I think ground
I
probably.
mean, I just like air. Air's fun.
I
yeah.
I could see it being either air or ground. I don't think neutral.
Uh, um,
Neutral might be more like Megalania.
no, I think neutral is Diprotodon. No, no, Diprotodon's water.
Ooh,
I'm dumb.
okay, wait. Hear me out. Procoptodon, Earth, Thylacoleo,
Fire
Air,
No air.
or air.
Air, Megalania, either fire or neutral, and Diprotodon, Water.
Y- we just made starters.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, actually, I just realized you can add Quincana in there
Oh,
as
Quincana
either
actually.
neutral or fire,
I like Quincana
interchangeable
as
with Megalania.
neutral because I like Quincana as neutral because I
Okay,
like the idea of
Yeah.
Megalania being
so
close range like dot
Fire.
damage, fire based.
oh
Yeah. I like
fire and poison.
yes. Actually it's venom.
Fuck
You
you. Also,
Well,
yes,
love you
no,
too,
there's
babe.
hey. Fossil fighters knowledge. There's poison and there's venom.
that is true.
There's
So
two
yes.
different status effects.
That is
It
true.
would have been it'd probably be venom.
Yeah, because I forgot. Yes. By the way, this mentioned Megalania video. It was venomous. This is a confirmed thing. Anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
Yes,
Continue.
and
So
just
anyways.
so I'll probably cut this, but in fossil fighters, poison was a constant damage, like every
Yes,
round. Venom, it like waited for I think
and then
two or
big
three
burst.
rounds, and then a big blast of damage.
Yeah, I remember this because I remembered.
Yeah.
God, we need to play Fossil Fighters. But yes.
Oh, I would love to go over the
Oh,
Vivisaurs.
Oh,
We
that's what
we
we
would
yes.
should do
have to
next. Vivosaurs, hell yeah!
we okay. I have to get an emulator
I
for it,
have one.
but I don't think we can do what we do here just because we can't really
Like
interact with them as much.
yeah.
Well,
We can
Maybe just do
interact.
a
we can show all their moves. We can show the
we
animations of their
can.
moves.
It'd be like 5 minute shorts.
No, because the
Um,
Fossil Fighters. The other thing with Fossil Fighters is that it has a lot of things. Fucking trilobites and ammonites and
we
amalcaris.
we could go over the group, like split them into groups, like Carcharodontosaurs.
Yeah,
You have
that'd be the way
Giga,
to do it.
Carchar, Acro.
There's more too.
Tyrannosaurs, etc.
I believe
Yeah.
Like we
I
could
think
probably do
Tyrann
30, 40-minute episodes,
yeah, there's a
5
lot.
to 10 minutes per
'Cause
creature.
it has
That'd probably be the way to
Shonisaurus,
do
it
it.
has Kronosaurus. It
Yeah.
again, no, Fossil Fighters is really cool. If this bit isn't cut, it play it.
I'll keep some of it in, maybe not
Yeah.
all of it, but I'll
Um,
keep some of it.
but yes,
Anyway,
in-game
shall we talk
stuff.
about this in Ark?
Anyways, who,
Okay, and
since
I
I'm
can
the
take the lead on this.
Folks, can you tell we're
Unless
comfortable with each other now?
yes, we are bantering like we're an old married trio, like
oh,
polygamous couple, whatever.
What?
okay.
What? Where
Um
did that go? What?
I don't know.
okay.
Old
At,
married couple
at
doesn't work
any
well.
Bear
rate,
Claw.
who wants to do the dossier?
I can. I
Eh,
am the mammal guy
Mammal
here,
Man.
so
Okay, give us your best bad Australian
Oh
accent.
God!
crikey. The first mammal I've ever encountered in the island was the Procoptodon vivincorus, standing nearly 3 meters tall. It is among the largest jumping creatures I've ever heard of. It is a fairly peaceful herbivore that will immediately flee when aggressed upon. One of the Procoptodon's most unique features is its pouch. Unlike many pouched marsupials, Procoptodon's pouch is relatively dry and has little in the way of sticky or oily fluids. I assume this is good for the jelly, but I have never figured out exactly why yet. Its other unique feature, powerful hind legs, can knock back aggression much larger in stature. Procoptodon shows great precision when leaping, as if it can accurately target the landing without fail. I've seen them effortlessly hop and land from heights that would flatten other creatures. Domesticated. It seems Procoptodon's knack for carrying things has increased its loading bearing capacity. Procoptodon's dry pouch makes it an excellent beast of burden that can carry far more than other creatures of its size. Additionally, it appears to provide an optimal environment for nourishing babies, so much that upon maturing, they have even more vigor.
It's a
All
baby.
right.
It's a bird mother. But yeah, it's
It's a
very,
It
baby mama.
it is. It's a nanny.
which is
Um
adorable, and I
but
love it.
like honestly, the Procoptodon, I'll just say this flat out, it is my favorite travel mount in the game. Like I
It's
prefer it over
s-
flyers. It's just
second
so much fun.
second favorite. I like one more. Second favorite for me.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think I know what it is, but I just love it because like I want to show this off. The Procoptodon is fast. Like
Yes.
let me see. It's fast, it has high weight, it has great stamina, it can jump.
It's immune to
Just
fall
it has a
damage
jump you can
mostly.
Yeah,
it has a
mostly.
jump you can charge.
Wow!
Uh uh it it
Whee!
isn't immune to fall damage, but it does have a big reduction to
And what,
fall damage.
based on that, that would kill most other things. What you just did.
It would
Yes.
kill almost everything else, yeah. It's just
It's
a
the
great
whole
travel
jump.
mount. It you
I'm
can
sure
run
it's kick.
away from like wyverns with this thing
Yeah,
just by jumping.
show its kick.
Just imagine like a giant walking kangaroo suddenly
So
leaping at you from the
cool.
air from like you're on your dragon or your wyvern and suddenly this monster just like
Now now with
like
that said,
comes
the
at you from the sun.
now with that said, it does hop, and we've just been talking about how it would have
Yes,
walked.
it would have yeah,
But
but
like
still,
that research came out
They
long
definitely didn't
after this
know.
design was
Oh
created.
God,
they did
God,
not
Like
know.
they
God,
couldn't
yes.
have known.
No, 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 not even close. And mind you, the way it hops is pretty accurate for other macropods. So
Yeah, it hops like a
Basically,
kangaroo.
it's really
I'm
cool.
not sure if real kangaroos can
I
hop
mean,
backwards.
They
to be
cannot.
I'm
fair,
not sure if they
like,
can. Okay,
they
Let me
cannot.
check. No, I
I
should
mean,
ask.
like they can kind of hop backwards when they're fighting each other, but
I
they're
think they have to
very
shuffle backwards, like on
yeah.
all fours.
Oh,
No,
and
they
also like,
cannot walk backwards at all due to their tail and how their feet are positioned.
but they can
Ah,
swim.
They can swim quite well. The kangaroos are good
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
swimmers.
they can.
yeah,
They
and in
will
game,
drown.
Procoptodon's actually a good swimmer too, which
Like
surprised me.
so.
Yeah.
Though, like when it's like sprint hopping, like its tail is kind of like
It's
it's
Its
off the
tail should be a
ground.
bit
yeah,
thicker probably as
it should
well.
be a bit stiffer.
Yeah,
It should be a bit stiffer.
Probably.
but if you couldn't tell by us this is one of the first Ark designs, this is a common theme for most of the mammals in the game, is really good, and it's
It's
where
really good.
most
Like some like
I
half and half.
I would say
Well, okay.
actually most
This is
mammals.
really good.
Well, I would
Yeah, this one's really good.
this is really good. I would argue that most mammals in this game are pretty good, even ones that are a bit more outlandish, like the thylacoleo in its size and the mammoth,
Mhm.
are pretty good.
Mammoth's all right.
Well, like the
Yeah.
Androsarchus, is
Angiosarchus is good.
Androsarchus pretty
It
good. Basilosaurus
mhm.
is pretty good. Um,
Daedon is awful.
well, you don't like the
That's
Daedon.
your opinion.
Jerboa is pretty good.
Oh, the jerboa is so cute.
Yeah. The Shinehorn, for doing more other speculative stuff, is adorable.
Mhm.
Um, even like
I mean,
the
like
the roll
the
rats too.
mammoth's cool. The roll rat, yeah.
The roll
Like
rat,
The the
I
woolly
mean,
rhino is really good.
rhino, the woolly
like
rhino's really good.
I'm
I
I'm
mean,
sure I'll say this again when we get to the ranking, but a lot of the mammals just feel so alive, and the Procoptodon
Oh,
really
yeah,
exemplifies that because
um,
like
like it's really good at following you with its eyes. It blinks, its ears move, it visibly breathes. Like I
um,
don't think its chest should move like that exactly, but it does breathe,
You're going through it.
and it.
There's
I've noticed while we're here, not only like its arms aren't mirrored, it has a preferred way to hold its arms,
yeah,
and
that's
one of them shakes when it breathes.
that's nice
That's a
little
little
attention to
character.
detail.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? We're supposed to get a.
It's
There's an
it's
unreleased Ark Survival Evolved creature.
What is
oh
that?
It's a Brontothea. We were supposed to get a Brontothea in
Ooh,
Fjordur.
huh. Oh, that
I
probably
Megaceratops.
will.
got traded out for Andrewsarchus.
I would assume based on which is fine.
Yes,
But no, other
I
mammals.
will. Yes.
Hyenodon. I'll include stem mammals. Perlovia, the Paraseer, Castoroides,
Well,
Calicotherium.
if you're going to
Yes.
include stem mammals, you have to include Lystrosaurus.
Lystrosaurus is great. What do you mean? I adore that thing. I also will include moss chops in that.
The
Moschops
Listersaurus
is
looks
probably
ugly.
my favorite early game tame.
It's
Listersaurus looks ugly.
I adore it.
Well,
It does flips.
Lystrosaurus just looks ugly. That's not the game's
That,
fault.
Yeah,
that
I
is
mean,
true.
I
That's a
mean, I
Lystrosaurus
mean,
issue
like,
too.
I mean, like, I've seen good Listersaurus designs. That
Evolution
I
face is not one
too.
of them.
Evolution
I
2 is
I
really
think
good.
it's a I think it's a good design, and the frickin' backflip.
Yeah. By the way, other ones.
It's
Um,
so cute.
Des Desmodus is pretty good. All
True.
the bats are pretty good. But yeah, Hyenodon, the bears,
Yeah.
even Phiomia and Aurochs and Ovis, things that you're not gonna tame.
Aurochs?
Yeah, Aurochs. There's an Aurochs in the game.
Aurochs isn't in the game.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Aurochs is in the game. It's in the Fjordur.
Hmm.
It is?
Yeah,
This?
I've never seen one.
yeah, it's in the game. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh wait, yeah, it released in yeah, it was released in 2012. Not 2012,
Hmm.
2022, not 2012. I can't speak.
I was gonna say, like, I feel old.
Yeah, no, it's in the game. Yeah. Um,
So what do
Um,
you like? Should we talk
Ar-
about?
wait,
I've never seen it. I don't think it's in the game.
Hmm.
Auroch. Wait, I thought Aurochs. Let me check. I was of the opinion because Aurochs and says it's been released. So,
Yeah,
mind you,
it was added in the Fjordur
so does
update.
Megaceratops. It says it was technically released.
That's not in the game. I don't think the Aurochs is in the game. It might have been added in Fjordur and then taken out, but
That
it's not.
appears to be
It's a fan made
correct.
creature.
Yeah.
It's a fan made creature.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. But yes, as many shows
That's okay.
Megaceratops. Those were probably two creatures that were supposed to be added and not. Hopefully, they get added
Mhm.
later because based on what it looks really cool. But like Ovis, for example, and Equus, great.
Yeah.
Um,
Back to Procoptodon.
yes.
Now the one in game is a little big, even for the largest species.
I don't care.
Do we think one could hypothetically get to this
Yes.
size?
A full
Because
guarantee, yes.
I just double checked. Each of the walls is 2 meters tall. So this thing is 4 meters tall and 6 meters long. Just
And
over that,
now,
actually.
mind you, it's not also not if it was standing correctly, it'd probably be an extra 2 meters tall if it was standing correctly.
Yeah, it should be more vertical.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
doing normal
I
kangaroo stuff.
I
Should
think
we?
it's I think it's too. It is definitely too big. I don't think it's in the size range for what we have.
No.
It's like
But
But
with that said, it's not the most oversized creature
what's
in
the
Ark,
no,
and I
not
don't
even
mind it
close.
too much. Because,
Like
like, looking at it in first person, like, it feels like it's the right size in first person.
I will mention this. So the average size for an African bull elephant, because I use elephants because it's very easy. Um, uh, the average size of African bull elephant, I believe, is what, like 10, is about 10 tons.
uh,
10,
5 tons.
No, that's a.
No,
It's
that's
like
like the biggest.
5 tons.
oh, for African bull is
I
5 tons.
think 12 tons is the highest
12 tons
recorded.
is the record, 13 feet at the shoulder. So I could
Yes.
say a big Procoptodon easily could
Okay.
have got this big, if not bigger. Mammals are
Okay.
strange
Like
when they get
the
big.
Shaquille O'Neal of Procoptodons.
Yeah, no. When mammals get big, they get big. Like
Yeah.
Okay,
reptiles
fair.
tend to have an. This is something that I at least come to. Reptiles tend to have a proper size range. Like r- snakes, it appear like, for example, the biggest snake to ever exist, Titanoboa, which is probably about 40 feet. Titanoboa could not have survived very much on land, and Titanoboa has also been shrunken a lot. Snakes tend to not
Well,
ever get bigger than
well,
35
wait,
feet.
is Gigantophis bigger than Titanoboa or is
Gigantophis
not?
33 feet long. Same with the
So
Compared
yeah,
to
taller.
Titanoboa's 40.
yeah. Titanoboa
Yeah.
is also probably fully aquatic based on research.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
So let's see.
reptiles.
Should we talk about?
Um.
Oh, I haven't finished my point yet. Sorry,
Oh.
if you don't mind.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reptiles tend to have a proper size range. They tend to not get bigger than a certain point. Even though reptiles do consistently grow, it seems they do have a set stopping point.
It,
That's between a,
it's asymptotic.
yes,
Yeah.
mammals, while they have a range, when mammals go past the margins, they can go past it by quite a bit. There's elephant wise, but if I do like brown bear, we'll do grizzly bear because that is something
Mhm.
that people might see it as, or actually lion. Lion's easiest. The average the average size for a male lion is 2 seconds. The average male
I'm gonna
lion,
guess 600 pounds.
no, the average
No,
is
500.
400. The
Hmm.
average
Oh,
is 400.
okay.
The biggest male lion ever um was 800 pounds in the
Jesus.
wild.
Okay.
That's double. When mammals,
Okay. Yeah.
when
Maybe.
oh, sorry, yeah, you have
Sorry, you finish, and then I have a
yeah.
comment.
When mammals get big, yeah, and it was discovered in Kenya. When mammals get big, they they exceed any standard that we have.
Okay, maybe a better way to put it. I could see this. You are right, being an exceptionally huge
Yes.
Yeah.
Procoptodon.
Yes.
Exceptionally.
Like the record
But
holder.
for the average of the
Oh no.
species, it is
It
too
is way
big.
too
Yeah,
big.
average is too
And
big, but
be
yes.
granted, this is just Ark. Each one of them is exactly the same size.
Which I think are
Speaking
So
of
the
which,
changed.
species as a whole, I would say, is too big,
Yes, I
yeah.
even though this size is hypothetically possible.
yes.
Is
Speaking
that
of
better?
hypotheticals,
Oh,
yeah. Speaking of hypotheticals, should we talk about spec-evo and how
there's
we
not
think this may have
much.
been?
Um,
It has a dry pouch,
how,
I guess, but I don't know. I don't do
I
marsupials. I
yeah,
don't know what that would
Mar-
mean.
Mars
None
I
of us do
guess just
marsupials.
well, like instead of storing stuff in its cheeks, I guess.
Yeah,
You know,
I
Yeah,
guess. There's not much spec-evo, because it's
no,
kind of just Procoptodon.
just but big.
Yeah.
yeah, it's Procoptodon,
Or
Oh,
but able to jump
wait, let me check
like,
some.
why would it be able to jump?
Um, I'm gonna check
because it's a
this.
kangaroo, obviously.
Yeah,
Like, like kangaroos are at least modern red kangaroos are insane
it
jumpers. They
Yeah.
does.
just took that to the logical
It
extreme.
it does have a unique arc name.
Hmm.
Oh, true, true. What is
Wh-
the species in Ark
its
again?
speech name is a Vivincurus, which fictional
Vivincurus.
Vivincurus, which what is that? Probably it doesn't tell me what it
Uh,
means.
Viva is like inside, like viviparous or
Uh
vivisect.
oh, so it probably
So
means
it's
like,
probably referring to the pouch.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
assume. What does curus mean?
I should. Is it tail? No, it's not tail. What does doedicarus mean?
Well, it's curious as not curious. No, it's curious as in currus.
Oh, right. Okay.
Didicurus means pestle tail.
I doubt it's tail, based on how it's spelled.
Yeah. So it's like,
Mhm. Chariot
Oh
or a
yeah.
car.
Oh yeah, that's
hmm,
what it is
Okay.
then. Yeah,
So yeah, it has an internal compartment
yeah,
basically,
yeah. Which is what it is. Yeah. Um.
yeah.
or like the inside carrier, I guess, if you want to be literal,
Yeah, which is probably correct.
which
So
is
yeah,
correct. Yeah. Like I'm doing it right now. You can just pick up stuff and shove it in the
Oh yeah, I
pouch. Let me
forgot you
see
could
if I
just.
can find a listro.
I
yeah,
forgot you
we
could
can
just
show.
shove stuff in your pouch. Yeah.
Yeah, you can kidnap.
Why keep opening my door, dog?
It's got to
so like,
investigate.
with our stuff about
Keep
them
opening my
being
door.
giant
Very sorry.
walkers, like, what would pressure them into becoming hoppers again?
I mean,
Big
just needing to be
predators.
faster.
Being faster for bigger predators?
Yeah, that's basically it. That's probably
Yeah,
also why they got
like
bigger too.
yeah, there's a lot of fast predators in Ark.
Yeah,
Like
and
there's a huge because I will say the other reason I like Procoptodon is especially with its secondary attack, it has great knockback and it does good damage. So it can fight,
go
but there's
launch
some
the
things it
Doedicarus
just
into the
could not
sea.
fight.
Can we bully the Didicurus with it?
I was gonna go launch it into
Yeah.
the sea. Um, but yeah, probably that. I will also mention this is one of the creatures that has a proper like. It does appear that it has pretty good knockback. It does appear that all of the Did you what? Why did you kick
But
the terror bird and want to go kill the Equus? What?
I don't know. Oh, because it's closer, it aggroes.
Go chase,
It's
child.
it like look at this. Like you can beat up a pack of anything without getting hurt.
Yeah, no,
Like
it's
it's a good fighter. That's part of
yeah.
why it's
It's
one of my
the
favorites.
it's the key coho of
And
attacks.
if we spec evo things, this is one of like the only creatures that like we know had contemporaries that were that are very similar. Like the Stegosaurus and Allosaurus in this game, will and Brontosaurus will use other contemporaries. Those are drastically different from how we know those creatures are. But Megalania,
Hmm.
Thalcleo, and Procoptodon, they're not much different. It just seems that they adapted to different biomes, but are pretty similar. The Thalcleo becoming a basically becoming a
A climber.
giant predator of the redwoods.
Like it they all further specialized, I think is
Yeah,
how I would phrase
yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah,
the best way. They for the specials, Megalania becoming a cave dweller and almost being the top predators of the
Hmm.
caves.
It
They
is the top predator of the caves.
yeah, actually, they probably all had a massive like radiation and just gigantism because of because these things live in basically not a desert, but they live in scrubland,
pretty arid environments.
and they are transported
Hmm.
onto a pretty lush environment. They probably excelled. That's a very blue Dodecurus. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I have a dino color mod installed.
I see. But yeah,
Which actually that is something I want to bring up. The colors on the Procoptodon,
very good.
they're
They're really good.
mostly like they're mostly like browns and yellows and oranges.
They're
I
pretty.
think they
Yeah,
chose good colors.
Yeah,
they
Like they're
did.
fitting colors.
very pretty.
It
Well,
it's what I would expect a desert animal to or scrubland animal to look like.
with almost an hour and 40 minutes of recording, and this is our
Shall we rank it?
sixth video ever. Let's rank. Let's rank it.
Yes.
Well, is there any um there was one other thing I wanted to
Oh,
bring up, and that is the Procoptodon is a bit of an Epicurean. It has very particular tastes,
yes.
which I think
Yeah.
shows a bit of niche partitioning compared to other
It likes
herbivores.
flowers, right?
It was.
It likes special seeds and rare mushrooms,
Oh, mushrooms.
which
Yeah.
which granted this is extrapolating a bit from what they do to your player, are very filling. So
Yeah.
it specializes in
It is a.
high quality forage, I guess.
That would probably be it being a browser and adapted to browsing in Australia, which might not have the same plants as here. So it automatically went to what's the easiest and least amount to eat
Uh,
with competition. So then
yeah,
hyper
what
specialized.
Yes.
what's something that nothing else is eating? Oh, this. Hey, this is tasty. Yum.
Exactly. Again,
And like I
very
said,
cool.
very energy dense, which would go into the whole needing to be faster thing.
And hopping.
Like high density, low weight foods.
Yeah. Very cool. This thing I adore. Let's rank let's rank it
Yes.
because I think we all have
To
All
the
the
right.
same
game.
opinion of this creature.
Can I go first this time?
Yes,
I
you
Yes.
rarely go first.
can.
You go
Okay.
up.
Last thing I will say. I like the saddle design. Like the straps actually make sense. They don't look like they're just thrown on. It looks
Yeah.
like an actual effective saddle.
Yes.
Um S. Easy S. It is my favorite travel mount. It's fun to ride. Like it's fun to ride. It's fun to hop around. It's fun to find a ton of little secrets and fight dinosaurs and run away, and it can do everything you need it to do. Anything you would want in a travel mount, Procoptodon has it. And I think they are a little too big, but as we said, like the species appears to have just gotten bigger, stronger, faster. It's a common thing in Ark. It happens. It's a fun creature. It's a gorgeous creature. I love the attention to detail in its
Oh,
animations
one
too.
one more thing to add on.
Like,
Well, that's
okay,
pretty.
go ahead.
Its ascended version looks beautiful.
I have not seen that yet,
S-
but we are judging the survival
Yes,
evolved versions.
but
Yes.
yes, continue.
Now,
Sorry.
at any rate, it is an easy S for me, and I would put it right up near the top. If I play on a map that has these things, I will tame them because they're so fun and they're so good to have.
Hmm.
That's my piece. Whoever wants to take it can go.
Gojira.
All right. Honestly, everything Dino said, I gotta agree on. Like, I really like it. I was expecting an A, but after looking at it more in more detail, it's moved up to S for me. Like like Dino said, there's a lot of attention to detail for it, and it just feels like a living natural animal, which is frankly one of my main issues with Ark, mainly with its dinosaurs, is that sometimes they can feel rather lifeless. They can feel like robots almost sometimes. Like they don't feel like real animals. I will say a lot of the mammals do feel like natural animals. So yeah, I really like Procoptodon. I think it's a great design. I think it's great animations, great mechanics, hilarious jump, and yeah, the real thing is horrifying, but in the best way possible. So I will give it an S tier.
I hate this thing. It's F tier. It's awful. Blah blah. No, 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 no. The other two are right. The, the other two are right. This is one of the best creatures in the game. You may have noticed in my last few rankings, I have hearkened on Ark's issue with like scaling or things that it just makes in-game mechanics. This does a interesting in-game mechanic, a nursery mom and jumping, but makes it interesting. What I love what Ark does is either when it takes a creature and gives it an interesting mechanic, gives a reason for it. When we reach things like Pachyrhino, I'll praise this more. Or
Um,
it takes what the creature does, what a creature would normally do, and turns it into an interesting mechanic. Its jump, now mind you, didn't jump, didn't know at a time. It's a kangaroo, and its pouch are so interesting. I had so much fun when this thing came out. Highest
But may
S.
I so S's across the board. I want to say really quick, maybe to what you were saying there. Gotcha and Diplocaulus, they feel like an ability was given to a creature.
Yes.
Mhm.
With the Procoptodon, it's just an extension of existing kangaroo abilities.
Exactly.
They
Yes.
didn't give those abilities to the creature, they grew what was already there.
Yes.
So
And
They turned
it's
a
yes.
it
adaptation
feels
into an
it,
in-game
it
ability.
feels like it should have these abilities.
Yes.
Yes.
It's Ark at its best.
Yes, it's Ark at its best. Again, this will be a lot of the mammals. A lot of the mammals do this really well. Um,
Some,
and
not as much.
well, yes, there are I do that, but no. A lot of the mammals do this really well. And um, let me get to the tier list.
Yes, I will drop Arc now.
Yes.
So we finally have broken through the glass ceiling of B tier
Oh God, yes,
Yes.
straight into
straight up to S.
Yes.
so good. Oh,
Well deserved.
I'm just
So
looking at
good.
the models. The other thing I will compliment, you may notice of some of these models also, this is here. If you see this video, if it does exist, we may post it. It is 25 minutes of me
It, it it's
screaming.
premiering tomorrow.
It is?
Yes,
Okay.
It
it
is.
is.
But no, yeah.
It's me bullying Dom for his unwarranted
The
hatred of jellyfish.
models, the model of Procoptodon does not look like it is hindered by Ark's innate bad graphics. But and
I will say, at least for this video, I have to have the graphics on basically minimum.
yeah, I assumed as much.
Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
like a five frames a second.
I
Yeah.
assumed as much. But the model looks amazing. And
Yes.
as the only person who's played Ascended here, when Ark can do fur textures at its finest, it looks good. And Procoptodon benefits from that greatly.
It does.
I mean, even then, I'll say in Arc Evolved, I think it looks really good still.
Oh yeah, it
I
does.
think
Yeah,
it's one of the best fur textures I've ever seen, actually.
so good. And with that, let's go on to the wheel.
Yes, it is time to spin the wheel, folks. Before we drag you over there, if you liked this video so far, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with a paleo loving friend, because we
Yes.
might have something even crazier next week.
We'll see. We might be very cool.
Maybe.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone. I
everybody.
hope. Oop. Oop.
We hope you
Well,
enjoyed this horrifying abomination of a kangaroo that
Uh,
would easily become a iconic horror movie monster.
that I adore.
hope you had a hopping good time. One of us had to say it.
That pun really
Spin the
jumped.
wheel. We went so many episodes without a pun during the wheel spin.
When? I always make puns.
Uh huh. You do, don't you?
Listen, my anaconda don't want none unless you got puns, hon.
Just spin the wheel.
Just do the thing. I hope we do the snake. It is.
Oh, please give me Reaper.
Oh,
Oh, please. Yes.
Reaper.
Okay. That's a good spec-evo creature. That's a good one. Well, kids and probably adults, we'll come back next week where we get to go into our first proper spec-evo creature. The gotchas, But this one is very interesting, and we get to go into talking about. We get to talk about mostly xenomorphs as well, because that's its main inspiration.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Very inspired, so to speak.